Welcome back for another episode of Elaboration of Philosophy. Today I have a longtime friend on, Teddy. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing alright. So, the first question I'm going to ask you, it's the same question I ask everyone. It's, what is your philosophy, and what experiences have led you to the latest shift in your philosophy?
Well, the hard thing about answering that question is too much shit is going on with me.
Word. I guess, more so, what are you, I guess another way to ask the question would be, like, what principles are you trying to live by every day? More so than your philosophy in terms of individual experiences, I guess. What are you trying to live by every day? What are things that I guess you're trying to do every day? Whether you're doing them or not, what are your ideal, like, okay, this seems like a pretty good foundation of a principle that I think would help myself kind of get through this thing.
So I guess just trying to, well, first of all, just keep myself occupied because that's just me. Like I can't really keep thinking straight. But also just to keep myself happy, you know.
Word.
Like do stuff that I actually enjoy doing.
Yeah, I feel you. It's very important to do shit that you enjoy. What shit do you enjoy? I guess that's the question now, because I know, but for the most part, but I also know that everyone listening doesn't know you, so.
So, well, the two biggest things that I enjoy doing is working out. That has just changed my life completely.
Word.
And the other thing would be like just technology and how that works and how it could work.
Word. So, going into working out, how has it changed your life? How do you remember yourself in terms of like what you felt before you worked out, and then once you started working out, and then like the flows of different, I guess, volumes of working out over time? Like how has it been so good for you?
Well, it's been good for me because I'm a very introverted person.
Yeah.
So getting into the gym, I guess, just gave me that just slightly bit more confidence.
Word, I feel you. It's like
just be myself, you know, in front of other people.
Yeah, you open yourself up a little more. You get into an environment where it's like, all right, I can be free from whatever garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel that. And going into the technology, like, what I know that you, like, just from you being my boy and everyone has the PCs, I know, like, I'm, like, in terms of gaming, I understand, but I also know that there's much more to technology, and I want to know your, like, I guess, relationship with it and why it makes you, and in the way that it works, why that, like, makes you happy.
So I say, like, it would make me happy because technology, the way I see it, is just to make life easier. So if I could find, like, small ways in my life that I find difficult, which should be solved by, I don't know, just, like, making an app or, like, making a program to figure all this stuff out for you.
Word, they're tools that, like, we've created, like, literally right now. Like, we're recording our voices, like, this is technology. Like, people listen to this and they're like, oh, shit, like, the amount of, like, I guess things that go into the actual process and, like, that allow us to do certain things, like, it's great. I feel like I have a weird relationship with technology. Like, I love it, but I also hate it, and I want to, like, as much as I'm grateful for it, I also want to throw it all in the ocean.
Completely.
Sometimes, like, all my personal, like, TV, PS4, phone, all of it. Like, I feel the technology has wired me in a way that, like, no physical, like, tangible that isn't, I guess the word would be more, I guess, electric technology, as opposed to, like, just technological advancements like a pencil and writing shit down.
Okay.
Like, but, like, I know what you mean, though, in terms of, like,
So
electronics.
speaking, yeah.
No, I got you,
Okay.
I got you. And, like, for me, the relationship with the electronic technology is so, like, I guess, lack for a better word, just, like, it's confusing. Like,
Very confusing.
I feel like for me, like, I don't know what it is for you, but like I said before, like, I just get, I get wired in such a way where sometimes I enjoy that, like, that program that I'm on when I'm playing PS4 or on my phone, but then sometimes I just want to throw it all out of my sight and
Because you don't
never
know what
see
to
it
do.
again. Yeah, like, I feel like for me, it's like, it's been such, like, I guess, like, really more of a stimulant, or I guess I would say it was just like, now it's the default, like, you know, like, like, now I'm back on Instagram, but I deleted Instagram a while ago because I would go on my phone, I would be on Instagram for a minute, and, like, then I would be like, shit, I'm on Instagram. What
You've been
the
on
fuck?
it for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
Like, you don't
it's
even
like,
know what's going on.
it's like, yo, I'm just scrolling and scrolling, and I think that kind of has led us into the world of caring about other people's opinions in a more like, in a different way than we ever have before.
Definitely.
Like, I feel like it went from, like, the influence kind of went top down in terms of, like, alright, and it still does. People who outsource the most of the media, the information that goes through the media, that hits 90% of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just such a crazy thing. I don't really know what to make of it, and, like, now we're here. Like, we just record, like, and it's nice because sometimes I forget that all there is to it is this. Like, I forget, like I'm going to see my grandma later, like, I'm going to be running around today, but, like, none of those things exist, if that makes sense. Like, they do, like, hypothetically they do, but, like, actual existence of that time, like, it's not here yet.
What?
No, so basically, like, for me, I guess this is one thing you will soon learn with the experience of mushrooms, but one thing I learned is that, like, right now is it. Like, there's nothing else. Yeah, like, there's nothing else. Like, yes, we've experienced all of our past experiences, and we will, quote, experience all these experiences in the future, but, like, now is it. When we experienced the things that were experienced, that was it then.
There's nothing now.
And, like, now it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Anymore, because it once existed. But, like, now, since it's not...
It's past, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, like, relative to... I guess that's more relative to, like, how we measure time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, yeah, we were younger. Like, shit happens when we're younger, and, like, we're gonna be thinking that same way about right now in a moment that isn't here yet. But, like, I also know that those moments aren't guaranteed. I know that with a stroke of luck, for some reason, I can just collapse to the floor.
Your life can just change completely.
Yeah.
And you don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Exactly. So, I feel like it's important to, like, really just try and be present to where, like, you are. I guess, like, I feel like I find myself, like, speeding up the time in my head because I feel like I need to get so much shit done, and then I watch time pass, and then I don't do shit, and it's like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I wasted the whole time, like...
doing nothing. And then you could have just done all that shit.
Yeah,
and been
like,
so productive.
I guess I feel it's more... I guess thinking about what I have to do instead of just doing it. And I know, I guess, like, how hard is it, or easy, I don't know, but, like, how easy or hard is it for you to kind of, like, say that you want to do something and then do it. Because for me, I feel that the more I shoot for the stars on a shorter span of time, I won't do what I want to do. But if I do the other way around, if I aim low and try and work my way up a little bit, I tend to get things done a little bit more efficiently. But I guess for you, what is like that process of like just trying to get shit done and having things that you feel like you need to do, but you also feel like you have things that you really want to do, but you can't do them because you feel like you have other shit that you need to do. So I guess
so
how does that go for you?
the way I go at that is, well, I figure out what's the easy shit I need to do and then the hard stuff. And then I actually, instead of just going for like the more prioritized stuff, I do the easier stuff first. Because I can't just go into like a big test and I can't just go into it.
Word.
So once I know that I finished all those smaller stuff, all the side stuff, that'll like build me up into, I guess, motivating myself into going to complete that assignment.
Cause for me, like I'm almost the opposite. Like sometimes I'm the same way, and sometimes I'm the opposite. Like sometimes I'll just try and get one thing done so I don't have to do it. But then I could have used that time for when I usually do all the quote easy shit first.
Yeah.
And like, I guess that was one struggle for me in California. Like I had a great time, and I got a lot of shit done, but I felt like I didn't get as much done because there were like at points I was just focusing on one thing for hours and hours, and it was just like.
It's because you're like in a completely new setting.
Yeah, I mean, like it made my brain hurt a little bit, honestly. But like, I feel you with like differentiating between what is like, I guess, easily attainable compared to like actual full 1,000, really not 1,000, but 100% effort with the brain and like really just being there, getting the thing done. Like, I feel you. Like getting the things that can get done with relative ease builds up that momentum to like.
Yeah, because I can't just go straight into it. That's just too hard.
No, yeah, I feel you. It's like you're trying to climb up a huge wall. It's like, all right, like I'm not.
Like you're not even trying to climb it. You're just trying to jump over it.
Exactly. Like you're trying to jump over it. Exactly. All right. From there, I have a list of questions that I usually like to look at. If like, I guess, if there's a little bit dryness and like in terms of like rapid conversation changing in terms of topics. So I guess for you, what has kind of like, because I know for like before going to school, like you like a lot of like we've had this discussion vaguely, but like a lot of your friends were white.
Yeah.
And like, how has going to school changed that? Because I know that you've met friends at school, you know, that aren't white, you know.
Yeah.
Black, Asian, doesn't matter. Like, for you, how has that changed your perspective, not only on like, I get more so yourself, like how has it changed your perspective on how you viewed yourself just as an individual, kind of like living this experience, and like how have others your age, me, the boys, your friends, family, like how is that, how like what is the thought process in terms of like finding your people in that sense? Like what gravitates you towards people, if that makes sense?
I guess just going to school just made me more comfortable
Word.
about being not white, I guess.
No, yeah, I feel you. Like,
because that's all Staten Island is.
Yeah.
It's all like white people, so I'm not seeing as many Asian people that I can somewhat connect with.
Yeah, word. Like like me being white, I've seen it not only with you, but all my other non-white friends. Just not not feeling bad, but seeing that like there's that not the connection based on appearance that we've all kind of been conditioned in a different way because we all have different perspectives on it in terms of like the constructed situation. But I guess more specifically, other than you going to school, like what kind of what when do you get to the point of like meeting a person or meeting people and kind of being like, hey, like this is a cool ass person or these are bomb ass people, I can see myself opening up and being friends with them. Like I guess where does the breaking, not the breaking point, but like you get over the hump of like, all right, like they were an acquaintance, but like now it's like, okay, they're more than that. They're someone I can talk to. They're someone I can chill with. Like where, like how, what's that thought process like for you?
I guess like I just treat it like the same as everyone else. It's like because most of the people I meet through aren't like one-on-one like conversations. More like I'm just put into a new group.
Word.
And then I just it just casually happens. Like I'm just talking to them.
Word. Yeah, I feel you. It's like.
And then just from then, like we start hanging out more in that friend group.
Yeah.
And then just like how like most friend groups happen, like yeah, like you have a big group and then over time it gets smaller.
The group gets a little smaller. I feel you. Like
and that's when relationships that's when they get stronger.
Yeah, I feel you. Like I feel like for, I guess us, it's like it's weird because people I feel like have fluctuated almost in and out of like hanging out.
But we've been the same.
Yeah, we've been good relatively for the most part. Like besides life and getting a little older, like it's so crazy that like,
we've all been
we've
together
all
for
been
like
together
our whole
for
lives.
mad long. We all went to 55. Devin came a little later in 55. I think
Like halfway through, like third, fourth grade.
yeah, Gap's transferred in like I think the third grade. Who do you have in the third? Were you with me in the third? Were we? Vergoose was the third grade, right? When we had,
Yeah, I don't remember at all.
Bro, no, bro, I do remember. It was me, you, and Jarvis.
Yeah, boys. Oh, it's just us three boys.
It was us three boys and 10 girls in a 13-person class. Wow.
We're the only 3 boys in that class.
Yeah, bro. Oh my god. Yo, I remember 2 separate times where I got in trouble in that class. One of them was for picking my nose in the back while we were on the rug, and the other one was for eating pretzels in the class, like mad secretly. Like I had a bag of pretzels.
You were always eating
on
pretzels.
The side.
Though.
Yeah, I was like, and she fucking violated my shit. Mr.
You were
Gusso,
addicted to
bro.
fucking pretzels.
Yeah, bro.
Pretzels and fucking Hershey chocolate.
Nah, not Hershey. Hershey used to be the way. Cadbury's the way, though. Cadbury's
yeah, now
really
they are, yeah.
the way. It really is the way. But, alright. I guess my next question for you is going to be one that I literally was telling myself all morning, but, like, what... I guess how easy or hard is it for you to, like, get out of your comfort zone? And in what, I guess, because I know that there are a bunch of different situations where you have to get out of your comfort zone in different ways. So I guess how, like in different settings, like how easy or hard is it for you to kind of let go a little bit in terms of like the clutch of trying to have everything in order and like, if that makes sense.
So, in general... I'm able to pull myself out of that comfort zone because at the end of the day, I know, like, even if I do fuck up or, like, I do something embarrassing, no one's gonna remember it. Like, they're probably gonna remember it, they're probably gonna think about it for the rest of the day, but, like, come, like, a week or something, like, not even, they're just gonna forget it. And it's not a big thing at all.
Word, I feel you. I feel like I've kind of been on that path of, like, just really being vulnerable. Like, that's why I have the podcast. Like, that's why I post on social media. It's just like, I want to see change in this world. the main change I want to see is people to get out of their comfort zone, be more vulnerable, have conversations that normally wouldn't be had. And like, if I want to see that change, I feel I have to do those things. And they're things that I love to do. I love talking.
Mm-hmm.
I've yapped my mouth off about things on all across the spectrum of things to talk about for years. And I'm getting a little better at listening each day. I'm trying to.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the same time,
You're just a talkative person.
yeah, I'm a talkative person, but like I've come to realize that for me vulnerability is the key. Like it is what I need in order to really fulfill myself instead of getting that a supposed sense of fulfillment from outside of myself, if that makes sense.
You need to prove to yourself that you can do it.
Yes,
Rather
but
than,
like
others' approval, I guess.
yeah, but at the same time, like I have to prove it to myself, but I also know that I can. And I've always been like doing. I've always been on the course to where I am now.
Okay.
If that makes sense, like no, like everything that I've ever done has led me to this point.
You've done the easier task, and now you're climbing that wall instead of jumping over it.
Bro, it's like this is like it's just the beginning. Like it's nice because I've come to realize that in 20 years from now, and like it's so great because I'm not a teenager, even though I just turned 20 a week and a half ago, and you're gonna be a teenager for less than a month now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be your last month as a teenager, and like I realized that we're gonna still live another 20 years, and at 40, we're still gonna be young.
Hello, young.
And like that has taken the pressure off a lot. Like I've come to realize like that I don't need everything right now.
You have so much time to work with.
Exactly. Like despite like I've always felt the sense of wanting everything now.
There's always a rush to something.
I want a girlfriend now. I want money now. I want this now. I want this now. It's like you're right. Like there's a rush to everything. Like it's drug like. Honestly,
yeah,
like it's like you. I guess for me, it's drug like in the sense that you're always itching for more, but you always set yourself up for self-sabotage.
Because you're trying to go over for it that fast. When you just take your time and it'll just come at you.
Exactly. Like for me, I tell myself like, there's just so much pressure, and then it's like, you can't get all this shit done in one day. And like, I also know that all my goals aren't going to be achieved tomorrow. And like,
you got your whole life for that.
Exactly. Like I've come to realize that even living another 40 years when we're 60, like we're still going to be young. Like I was talking about this with Dylan yesterday, like we're like the life expectancy in general for the population has been going up, and like I see us kind of being like that, the like almost the first generation where like for most of us 100 years old is going to be like
average.
It's going to be normal to live over 100 years, and like I've come to realize that like I've only lived at the maximum 20% of my life. In terms of this experience.
In terms of right now.
In terms of right now, like in terms of right now, if we're going to measure it, like if we're like, it can't even, it's so crazy because like it is 20% of my life, but in terms of like in 100-year scale of a lifespan, but like it's really not. Like time doesn't work that way. It's perceived differently. It's experienced differently. Like it's not.
We don't know what's gonna happen, like how we said before.
Exactly, and
like any second now, like anything, literally anything can happen, and it'll just shut everything down.
Yeah, and like, I guess it makes me grateful that shit doesn't shut down. You know, like
Yeah.
it makes me grateful that like I can just be, and I'm so grateful. Like I know there's so many people that are so strong and gangster for like seeing themselves as able even when they're not as quote privileged or as fortunate as me. I'm able bodied.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived in the same house I lived in my whole life. You know, like there wasn't struggle that I know a lot of people have had. There was an internal perception of struggles that I've had internally, but in terms of how everyone experiences this life differently and are born in different settings and have to like, yo, there are people that are born and raised in slums. There are people that are born with fucking no arms. There are people that are born with brain deficiencies, but they're all still somehow
Going along with life.
not only going along with life, but I feel have overridden the number one lesson that I feel school teaches. I feel the quote mainstream media teaches, like it's to not be powerful. I remember in school like being told what questions not to ask because they're bad questions. I remember being told, asking a question and then being told that it's a bad question. Like, you limit kids' creativity and like confidence. Like, you don't. It's not empowering, and I feel like that's kind of what we need to do here, and like that's why I'm doing this, because like it's self-empowering. Like it feels really good to just talk and like get shit out.
And in general, just to be yourself.
Yeah, you know, like it's
and just do what you want to be happy with.
Exactly. Like I'm trying to be myself, and I'm just trying to be. You know, like I'm trying to be with like right now. The situation is that I'm Joe, you're Teddy. We're recording our conversation, and then it's gonna eventually go out. But like right now, I am the mic, the conversation. I am you. I am the recording. Like the sense of like
you're in control.
Yes, but at the same time, like it's like I'm not trying. Like I'm in control in the sense that like I'm not trying to like have this clutch on everything. Like that's where perceived sense of of like kind of comes in, and like that's what a lot of people strive for, and that's what a lot of people like, or like a lot of people's fears are rooted in that. I feel feeling like they don't have control, but I feel like I've come to realize that like there's no like such thing. It's either there's no such thing as control, or you equally have as much control as you don't have control. Like, it's one or the other. Because they need both. They need control and lack of control need to exist.
Yeah.
Together in order to exist.
For that sort of balance.
Exactly. And I think that for me, like, it kind of comes with both. Like, when I try and apply the pressure, like, the pressure's equally coming back at me. And, like, I have to try, and I can't control what's coming back at me unless if I control the amount of control I'm trying to, like, place upon a certain thing. Like, one thing I struggled with, and it was, like, I find myself, like, trying to, I guess, really just control, like, what I used to do is really, like, control a conversation in the sense that, like, I've always wanted, like, if there was something I was talking about, I would always want to stay on that course. I wasn't much into change in general. Like, I always tried to make sure everything was okay or quote the same. And like, I realized that it's counterproductive because shit always changes. Like,
I guess
yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Like for me, like I said before, like you got to be the change. Like that's why I have them on my glasses. Like
Oh, that's cool.
you gotta like you really have to. I feel like in general you have to just look within yourself and see like you gotta talk to yourself literally,
yeah.
like out loud. Like, how are you doing today? Good, Joe. Like, how are you? And it's like, I could be doing better. Like,
Just having that mini conversation helps so much.
Yeah, like, and it's like you need to talk to yourself and put like bring yourself up because that's where it's all sourced from. It's all sourced from inside. And like, there was a video that I saw on Instagram, and it was this dude recording himself
every morning
saying good morning, and like the end of the video, like
he's saying I love you.
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
I saw that video too.
Bro, that shit, bro, I was, it warmed my heart. Like I shed a tear. Like I was like, yo,
just doing that one simple thing every day, talking to yourself.
Yeah, bro, the little things are the big things.
Yeah,
like they're so important. You know, like for me. Like little minute decisions really aren't because they have a trickle effect. Like for example,
it's all like cause and effect.
Exactly. Like I want to go to bed early every night so I can get up early in the morning every day.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I make the choice to either put my phone down or stay on my phone, I stay on my phone, and then I don't go to bed until late.
And
then I wake up late or I wake up early, mad tired.
Yeah.
It's like the little things matter, and like I think it's important to kind of just see it as such. Like there's so much, like I guess the point I'm trying to get at is like just think about or like I guess I challenge you and I challenge myself and I challenge everyone. Try and live one day without the constructions and without the, I would say, framework and structure. Like, for me,
that's hard though.
Exactly.
Because our whole life, your whole life routine is a structure.
I know, like, that's why I'm making the challenge. Because like they're like for me like I know that there are people in this life that don't live by what day is it today, like you know, like it's not like today's Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
People don't live by that. It's like, oh, I'm here now today, what am I doing? You know, like
because they have that structure fit for themselves already. Like
the structure isn't primary, if that makes sense. Like it's not like, I guess more so like, also with time, like it's very hard to. We feel that it's very hard to live like a day without our phones, because it is.
Because we're on our phones the whole day.
Not only that,
we're like addicted to it.
It's physical, yeah. It's a physical attraction. Like we've become cyborgs in that sense. Like we have a computer and a camera and a bunch of different applications on that computer in our pocket now.
It's like we're only functional with that with this device in our pocket.
But I also feel that we're only functional with the phones in our pockets relative to the system that we've constructed in the world that we live in.
For ourselves.
And like, I feel no, but not for ourselves. I think it's something that we choose to have and partake in, but like I think it's more so like it's more for the I think it serves more the ego in the sense that like
They're satisfied.
our egos always want the ego is looking for that rush. It's looking for that external confirmation of anything, of any sort.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what keeps the ego alive. And the ego isn't bad. It's equally good and bad. Like, it's a tool. But the bad side kind of tries to attach to everything and tries to sabotage you in that sense, like, from what you actually want. And, like, for me, I'm trying to really slowly separate the tools I use from being integrated into my like individuality almost. You know.
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean. Keeping like all the fun stuff away from work stuff, that sort of thing.
Yes, but at the same time, like I want the fun stuff to be my work, so it's not work in that sense.
Oh,
like
yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to just like I don't want to like the program of just taking out my phone and going on Instagram, then 40 seconds to a minute later realizing that I'm there, if not longer. It's like, oh shit, like am I really controlling my actions all the time?
It's just because like the ease of use of it.
It's
You just take it out and click a couple things and it's there.
Yeah, but I feel like technology is a different form of that same issue though. Like the same issue of just like external stimuli. In the sense of like, I guess for me like what I've perceived, particularly in social media use, but also as the internet gets faster and the technology itself gets faster, our attention spans are getting shorter and our sense of perception, like we perceive our sense of perception getting faster because of it.
True.
And like we think that we can perceive things faster because we're seeing things at a shorter wavelength of time. And there's less focus. Like, for example, TikTok. Great tool. If you follow the right shit, great tool.
But then you're gonna catch yourself on it for like 4 hours straight. And you don't even
like,
know.
The different, like, from there, do you, you gotta ask yourself, like, how do you feel when you're on TikTok? How do you feel when you're on Instagram? These are things I try to ask myself because sometimes I feel good and sometimes I don't feel so good. Like, I feel great on the platforms when I'm interacting with people, what they're meant for.
Yeah, that's what it is. Publicity's sake.
Yeah, and like I like interact because for me like one day like there's gonna be a point where I'm gonna be ready to like bring children into this world and like I want to make sure that I'm both financially secure but also like secure as an individual with another individual to where it's like okay, time to bring this fucking child into the world that I know that no matter what parenting I do, like, I know my kid will be good, but I also know that there are external influences, and, like...
That could change his life completely.
Yeah, his or her, or its life, whatever the fuck this fucking baby wants to, like, go by, whatever. Like, you know, for me, like, it's just trying to... quote figure it out, even though it's a process that takes lifetimes to really do instead of just like figure it out. I feel like we've been told by our parents at least for me to like figure it out. Have you ever heard that? If it's not from your parents, from really any authority figure, a teacher or whatever
it's always
it
like
is.
just do it yourself, figure it out.
And like what I've realized is that there's equally good and bad in that because they're fucking right.
Yeah.
We will, no matter what, we're gonna have to try and figure this shit out on our own.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that at the same time, it's like those people are telling us to try and figure it out, even though they don't have it figured it out. Like, figured out, if that makes sense. And like, part of me is like, that's why they're telling us to figure shit out, because they don't.
Or it could just be that they're lazy as fuck.
I think it's more so for like, if we figure it out, then them telling us to figure it out is like, oh, like they did something.
I just told this guy to do something.
Exactly.
I
so
did
it's
good
like
in
you
the
told
world.
like, yo, Teddy, if I tell you to go figure it out, whatever it is, and then you figure out whatever that is, it's like, oh yeah, I told you, like +1 for me. Like,
Yeah.
Even though in
Self-gratitude.
reality it's not.
You did
like,
nothing for that kid.
Exactly, and like, but in reality, they did. It's so crazy because like in that sense, like, they didn't do anything for them, but it was like,
They gave them that little push.
if they didn't tell them to go figure it out, like if they responded differently, just the whole reality of life would change from there. Like, but yeah, bro, this life is so crazy. I can't get over it because like
There's too much going on.
there's too much going on, but at the same time, all there is this. Like, this is
True.
it. All of the noise, all of the like the attention points of like the thinking process, like that's what I've come to realize. Like, I was talking to Dylan about this yesterday too, but like I feel like thinking it's a process, and like a single attention point in the thinking process is a thought.
Yeah.
And like I was talking to, like, because he was talking to me about some stuff about work and just how like he wasn't feeling all too great about what's going on. And I'm just like, dude, I told him the same thing I told, like, that I said before. Like, you're going to live another 20 years and you're still going to be mad young.
And what just happened, you're not going to worry about for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Just go on like it just didn't happen.
Exactly. And, like, you learn, You learn from that shit. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta, because you gotta try. All you can do is try. 100%. You can't guarantee that you'll complete something to completion with efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
You can't guarantee you'll complete whatever you're trying to do at all.
Everything's changing. And
Yeah,
you just got to change with it as it goes on.
Exactly. And, like, part of that comes with just, letting go a little bit of the forcefulness, and instead of thinking about the shit that you have to do, just do it. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard, but it's so easy.
It's just that it's always that first step that no one wants to take.
Of course, because, it's the unknown.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going on.
Exactly. Like, that's something, like, I've in terms of just, like, not knowing what's going on, like a question that I've had for people that they've had different answers for is, like, their perspective on life and death and experience, and, like, more so death. I feel like a lot of people have, like, I would say a morbid view of it, of just, like, it's this horrible thing, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, I
guess
know what you mean. It's just
what,
there's too many perspectives.
Like,
yeah.
what is it for you? Like, in terms, like, for, I guess, death.
Death for me is just the end of it. Because it's only because like everything is all speculation. So the thought of consciousness is like just this one living thing has its own consciousness, and once it's dead, it's dead. So yeah, I just think of it as like pitch black. Nothing's happening. Nothing's going on. And once the consciousness is dead and nothing's going on, so it's not able to like see what's happening right now.
Like for me,
I guess it
like,
just like stops.
I guess for me, like, I, I almost feel that, like, I don't know if it would be reincarnation, but I feel like a life implies death, but death comes first. If that makes sense in that process, like we're having this experience right now because our essence, our soul, has had like we've experienced. Like I truly believe that we've experienced like it's so crazy because like I really do believe like we're all like one, like we really are, we're all the same, like
It's all a transfer of energy.
Yeah, and like at the macro, like yeah, like the like whatever consciousness is and whatever form it takes, like it's like if you're implying that there's death to it, you're implying that there's life to it, but also in a beginning and an end. And for me, like, I don't know, like,
we don't even know where we began.
Like, I don't believe in the sense that, like, I believe we've been doing this forever. Like it's just been. Like, we've been doing whatever we've been doing forever. The hypothetical quote start doesn't exist.
Okay.
Therefore, the end doesn't exist. Because the start and end need each other.
Uh-huh.
So for this lifespan of our total experience that is consciousness, like, there's one. I also think that, like, for me,
or it could have just been the whole time.
Like, for me, yeah, like, for me, like, when I say I'm you, like, and that you're me, and, like, I'm these people, like, and those people are me, or whatever it is, the trees, the plants.
We're all the same thing.
Yes, and, like, I think of it in a God sense, like, this perceived, what we label to be God. Omnipotent, omnipresent, always here, like this.
Yeah.
It is God. I feel like I believe that. Like, what else? Like, God knows that being the knower of all things is boring, because then you know everything.
Yeah.
So what is better than for God to create a game where he, she, or it
doesn't know what's going on.
Not only doesn't know what's going on, but has to figure out, is playing hide and seek with itself. Forgetting that it's God.
And then finding
it's experiencing as many experiences as it can through different perceptions, different forms. That's the trees. That's human beings. That's a book. That's the microphone. It's all of it. Like we are, quote, God, in that sense. And then from there, it's like, the question that I will ask is like, is God the creator or is God the creation?
Creation.
But for like,
or creative, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, for me it's both. For me it's like,
because God's got to be created anyway first to be the creator. What the fuck are you saying, yo?
I think that, and like, I think God is both. Like, there's no, you cannot pick a one. You cannot say that God is not one of them. That's why it's both. Like,
God is everything.
The creator, yes.
Yeah.
And we are everything.
Like, we're all connected to everything, and it all just works.
Yes. But at the same time, like, you cannot, be outside of everything. Therefore, you're not only are you a part of it, you are it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, you and I are the same being, the same one being, but, like, you've experienced it through the human being that has been dubbed the label Teddy, Theodore for long.
Yeah.
And, like, for me, it's Joe or Joseph. Like, that's the baseline of how, that is, like, the center point of what we build our identity around. The label.
Yeah.
You know, and like the identity comes with a bunch of different labels. And then like not only has God created a playground where it can forget that it's God and experience as many things as possible through different lenses and different forms, but those different individual points of attention and points of experience can create shit.
And you don't even know what it could do.
This.
Yeah.
God creating shit. This. God creating shit. Conversation, like, language. Like, it's just, you know, the process is just going over and over and over and over and over again. And then it's like, okay, like, how big or small is it? Like, it's just so crazy because you can describe everything as the one thing, but then, like, what creates everything? Is it just everything? Like how you can't, it's rough because you can't go outside of everything, but, like, how does everything come about from there?
I don't know what you mean now.
Everything encompasses, like, quote, everything. Like, there's no going outside of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, what is the center of that?
It's itself.
Yeah, like, it's just a crazy thing. Like,
yeah.
I feel we've grown, really. That's what it is. Like we, I guess the question I can ask, and I don't know if I asked you and Chris when we were chilling, but like, fuck, did I really just forget the question like that? Bro, this has happened every episode. At least
always
once.
happens to everyone.
Yeah, bro, the thought just goes. But, like, that's what I'm saying. I think consciousness, like, we are consciousness that has taken form in this three-dimensional reality space that we live in. Mm-hmm. But, like, I also feel that in between us, there's an infinite amount of consciousness. Like, the perception of, like, the idea of what infinity is not what a lot of people have come to, like, I guess, understand it as. There's much more to it than, like, I guess, people have been taught or believed. Like, I guess, what is it for you? Like, I guess, just like a concept, conceptual-wise, or an idea, like, where do, like, I guess, infinity or things being infinite, like, where does that play a role, if it does at all play a role for you?
I don't think anything is infinite, because, like you said, like, whatever starts has to end, and infinite implies that it stays forever. Nothing is to just stay forever, you know.
Yeah, I feel that. I guess for me, I feel like the infinite implies that there is, like, for me, what infinite, like, things being infinite is, like, there's always, like, the, for me, in, like, the sense of opposites applying each other, like, infinity is nothing more of, I guess, a, quote, infinite amount of finite attention points.
But that also just has to be finite. Like, I just personally don't think anything can be infinite.
Like, you know? In terms of, like, life, or in terms, like, I guess, like, describe anything. Because I know it's very tricky word to
Oh, yeah. So infinite, like, yeah, infinite just implies forever. So life is not infinite. But also, since life is always like a chain of energy, that energy is always diminishing at some point. So it's just constantly going down. It'll just end up like stopping completely. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, so I guess from there, so in school we've been taught that energy can only be transferred.
Yeah.
Can't be created nor destroyed.
I think.
That's that I don't know what the truth is to that. Like I don't, because school bullshits us in every single way it can. So I don't know. But off of energy, us being told that energy can only be transferred, it can't be created nor destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Energy is being. It's there. It's conscious. It's what we are. Like, if it can't be created, where's the beginning of it? And if it can't be destroyed, where's it going? It's moving. And I feel like that goes into, there's just, that kind of goes into, I guess, the programming thing. Like, for me, and like how we're on programs, and like,
Oh yeah.
and like why we have cell phones, and these are always on. This is connected to a tower right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we can't see the frequency, it's physical. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's physical. And that's what I've come to realize. There are physical forces that are fucking with us that we cannot see. Gravity, but also...
That's what I thought.
Also the technology. And like people trying to send messages, and people, like, it's propaganda, it's mind control.
Mm-hmm.
In that sense, like, people want to control what you're thinking. Of course, I do too. I want people, if people thought like me, this world would be fucking great, you know? But I know people don't think like me all the time.
Yeah, there's always like that opposing view.
And like, it's good, because I wouldn't be who I am without that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be who I am without the anti or opposite theoretical me. But that's kind of where it goes into like us creating this reality and us creating our identity. Like, the anti-Teddy does not exist physically.
Mm-hmm.
Because the idea of Teddy is really an idea in the mind.
That's your consciousness there.
It's, yeah, like, we've, like, it's an idea in the mind that isn't, like, true. But since it's we can create it hypothetically, and we can kind of go off of that.
It's like we think it's true, so it is true.
Yeah, like, yes, and like, it's so crazy because like I've heard like there's an old philosopher, I think it was Descartes, who said this, but I don't know if you've ever heard this, but like, he said, "I think, therefore I am." Have you ever heard that before? Like,
No.
just that saying?
I'm not.
So, like, basically, it's kind of like what it comes down to. It's like, because I think I am what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, part of that is true, but at the same time, it's not. Like, I feel that it's not like you are what you think, it's what you think you are. What you think, like, it's weird, like, it's...
I don't know what you mean now.
Like, it's...
Yeah.
It's your perception of what you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what that is. They're two different things. Like, I feel like a lot of people have kind of like, our labels that we use have kind of led us to a path of like...
That's what life is.
Yeah,
like you need that label for
you
to live your life, but it's not.
It's not. Like, that's a mapping. It's an expression of what it is, but it's not. Like, oh, literally. Have you ever heard... You've heard this. Everyone and their mom and their dad have heard this. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not.
It is what you perceive it to be. That's what it is. But, like, it's crazy because that's what what I've come to realize, that with everything that you say, you imply the opposite too, because you need the opposite in order for what you're saying to exist.
Because anything can happen.
Exactly, and like from there, it kind of goes into my outlook on, I guess, looking inwards as opposed to outwards and looking for the answers to my issues from the outside. Because like, it's all just projection at that point, and it's my mapping onto something that isn't what I think it is. And like, I guess from there, for me, like I've struggled with like thinking about who I really am, and like not in terms of like, oh, who am I really as a person, but who am I as a being, like what is going on. Because sometimes I create my reality, but equally as I create my reality, shit falls into place as if it was meant to always fall into place that way. And then from there, it's like a combination of having that control, but then not having that control. Life's crazy, bro.
It's too crazy.
So, I guess we're an hour through. I know that you said the sweet spot was an hour, so yeah. I guess I'll give you one, I guess, not really a question, but just if you have anything to share in terms of, like, for everyone listening, like, what is one thing that I guess you just want people to know? Whatever it is at all, just tell the people.
I just want people to only worry about themselves. And as selfish as it sounds, it's just what you need to do. Because in order for you to actually enjoy living your life, you need to enjoy life. So you need to find what you need to find what you think. You need to find what makes you happy, and just go with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think.
And just life will just fall together at that point.
Yeah, I think. I think that this world has demonized the word selfish and what it means to be selfish. I think it's been very demonized in our world.
Like with a bad connotation.
Exactly. And like from there, you project outwards because you worry about other people instead of really worrying about what's going on inside. And like, I just agree totally. Be selfish, but have compassion for others, but have compassion for yourself first.
Yeah.
Be selfish.
Always prioritize yourself.
Exactly. But Teddy, thank you.
Thank you, Joe, for having me.
Yeah, of course. I know that, like you said before, you're an introverted guy, but it's not easy to sit down and record and just kind of be a little bit more open than usual in casual conversation, but I appreciate you, my boy. Yeah. I love you very much. Thank you for coming on. I'm very excited to do this again potentially, and
most likely.
Yeah, it's just life's crazy, but thank you once again, and thank you all for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.